We'll start with the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahaihi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are doing Tattvabodha text, and we are in the 18th mantra out of 38 mantras. We all are aware of the physical body as our self. When we say I, we always refer to the physical body. When we don't have any knowledge of the Veda, Veda teaches me that I am not the body, I am the spiritual self. The spiritual self is called as Atma. To distinguish this physical self and the spiritual self, Tattvabodha discusses three features. The first discussion is with reference to gross body, subtle body, causal body. With that, we are supposed to understand the spiritual self is Atma, the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body are anatma, not self. The second methodology used by Tattvabodha is the pancha koshas, the 5 sheaths of personality. This is another type of analysis where we talked about the body being the exterior most sheath. Inside that sheath is the physiological sheath of pranamaya kosha. I'm using Sanskrit terms. It means the air which we breathe in and out. Inside the pranamaya kosha, there is another sheath called as manomaya kosha, mental sheath, where we have our emotions. Our emotions are more deeper than the physical body. Our mind is more deeper than the physical body. A little bit more inner is the intellectual sheath called Vijnanamaya Kosha. What is Vijnanamayam? It is the doer and enjoyer in this body. When I say I am the doer of several actions during the waking state, that I which attaches to the doership is called as the intellectual sheath. Sheath means covering. Then there is still more deeper. What is that sheath? It is called as Anandamaya Kosha. So, intellectual sheath is the doership. Anandamaya Kosha is the enjoyership. I enjoy being in this world. I enjoy so many things with my sense organs. My eyes want to see color. My ears wants to listen to good music. My hands want to feel the touch, soft touch. My nose wants to have fragrance, perfumes. My tongue wants to taste good food. So through these five sense organs, I engage in the world. And then what is the end result of my transactions? I feel happy. That is called as ananda. It's called as the bliss sheath. So Tattvabodha divides our personalities into five layers. Once again, the food sheath, annamaya kosha. Second, pranamaya kosha, the physiological function. Third, manomaya kosha, the emotional personality. Fourth, vijnanamaya kosha, which is the doership. And the next one is anandamaya kosha, which is the bhokta, which is the enjoyership of the universe. So in all this, we see there is a layer after layer which covers Atma. So all these five layers are covered what? Atma. Atma means what? The spiritual self, which is called as awareness or consciousness. That is the ultimate goal of all the people who enter into Tattvabodha. They all want to know who am I. And there is no other text in the world which gives us the definition of who am I so beautifully like Tattvabodha. You can go through Tattvabodha 10 times. No problem. Keep understanding what that real self the text wants us to reveal, wants us to know as my real nature. So we have seen the three bodies which cover the Atma. We have seen the five koshas, the coverings which cover the personality of the Atma. The third aspect of analysis is avastatraya viveka. In all this, what we are doing, we are trying to discriminate the spiritual self from the other self, which means Atma, anatma. The third analysis is regarding the three states of the mind. I am Atma. I don't have any three states if I am looking at awareness, consciousness as my real nature. What happens? The mind in this body undergoes three states. What are the three states? The waking state, Jagrat, the dream state, Swapna, the sleep state, Sushupti. All of us, we undergo this. What is Shankaracharya wants to say? Shankaracharya wants to say, you are not the three states of the mind. You're not the three bodies. You're not the three states of the mind. You are not the five coverings of the Atma. All these three is the central theme of Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. All these three analysis, three bodies, five personalities, and three states. So whenever you want to go deeper into the spiritual self in Veda, we have to go to any one of these three types of analysis. These three are the reference to the individual self. I want to know who am I. And the text says that you try to analyze yourself with reference to these three aspects. Then you try to understand you are the Atma. The study does not stop there. Suppose I understand I am the Atma and everything else is the anatma. If you are a very bright student, you will then ask the question, what about the world? Okay, I have understood myself. But then I'm experiencing the world. What is this world? Can you can we analyze the world also a little bit? That is the portion we are entering now. We have finished. What are the qualifications? There are 5 topics. Every time I start a talk, I always discuss the 5 topics. In Tattvabodha, the first topic is sadhana chatushtayam. What are the qualifications required to come to the study of the self, the Atma? Then the second topic is Vyashti Vichara, the study or analysis of the individual. That is what we have completed. The third aspect, which starts from verse number 17, goes on till 26, is Samashti Vichara. Samashti means totality. Totality means the universe. That is what we have entered now. We have finished the 17th verse. Now we are entering into the 18th verse today. We gave an introduction last week, and I said we will revise that when we start today. Let us see how Vijaya chants this beautiful mantra about Maya.
Brahmashraya, Brahmashraya, Satwa rajas tamo gunatmika, Satwa rajas tamo gunatmika, Maya asti, Maya asti.
The first word is very, very important. Brahma Ashraya. So you should first understand what is this word Brahman in Sanskrit. What does it mean? The word Brahman means there is something common between the individual body and the universe. Universe is also a body of 5 elements, which we will study when we study the Maya. We will study the universe in totality. The universe is made up of 5 elements. Body is made up of 5 elements. In the universe, there is a spiritual reality, which we call it as Brahman, totality. Brahman is the spiritual content in the universe. The spiritual content in the individual body is called what? Atma. And what is Atma and what is Brahman? It is the same consciousness. Awareness, consciousness is the content of Atma and Brahman. Atma is a word associated with the individual body. Brahman is associated with the totality. Ultimately, we have to come to consciousness, awareness. How do I come? By analyzing the consciousness behind my body, is the same consciousness which is behind the entire universe. This study and conclusion is called as Mahavakyam. Mahavakyam means what? Very important sentence in the Veda. What does the Veda say? The content of the body and the content of the universe is one principle called as Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means existence, Chit means consciousness, Ananda means infinity, limitlessness. Let us now go into the analysis of what is this Brahman and what is Maya. This is an important study. It's a very subtle study, and your mind has to grasp the subtlety. We are going to go into very, very fine aspects of the world, much more deeper than the atomic physics. As you go through this, you will find that. Brahman means consciousness. This consciousness is called as the universal father. Like you have for a child which is born, a father is required, a mother is required. The father for the universe is called as consciousness. The mother of the universe is called as Maya. Maya means it is a power. It is a power which projects the material universe. Both this Maya, the matter principle, and the spiritual consciousness, both are beginningless. Beginningless means what? They have been existing all throughout time. One creation comes, then again another creation comes. And so many creations have come and gone. In all the time, both are there. That means even now there is consciousness and matter. Matter means what? Body is there, universe is there. Along with body and the universe, matter principle, what is there? Consciousness is there. What Veda wants us to do is drop the matter principle, which is called as anatma, and hold on to Atma, which is the consciousness principle, an independent principle. By doing that, what do I get? I am free from the body. Intellectually. Physically, I will be still tomorrow morning, I'll be waking up in the body and then I'll be seeing the world and so on. But intellectually, what you will understand, I am the consciousness awareness, which is independent, which can exist by itself, like we all exist in our sleep state, as this consciousness awareness without the world. But world depends on consciousness. World or Maya is dependent on consciousness for what? For appearance, which is for the existence, for the appearance, it depends on Atma or Brahman. So, at the individual level, we see the personal truth. At the gross level, at the universal level, we see Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, creator, destroyer, and maintainer of the universe. The creator, destroyer, and maintainer is nothing but this consciousness only, this Atma only. So, Maya is supposed to be Mrs. Brahman. Mrs. Brahman means what? The female, the power, the Shakti in the creation. Whereas consciousness is a changeless principle, it is always there. The Shakti, the power, resides in the consciousness. What is that power? That power is something which can project the world. As consciousness, I can remain independent, like I see, like I am there in the sleep state. But I see the world manifests and the world unmanifests. So try to take yourself outside the body and listen to what I am saying as you are Atma, Brahman, which is nothing but the spiritual essence, which is always there, which is called as reality, and which is changeless. Which changeless means what? The body may come, body may go, universe may come, universe may go, but I am there. That is the revelation of the Veda. Veda is the spiritual text which reveals this consciousness, awareness principle. Not that it is there. Ultimately, what does the Veda says? You have to say, I am that consciousness awareness. Till you are able to say, I am that consciousness, body is there, body is incidental. Consciousness is intrinsic. So, there are several aspects of study about this spiritual self. Slowly, as beginners, we have to understand each of these principles in our study. All this does not come immediately, but it takes time. That is why this is called as the preliminary textbook. It reveals the truth. If you understand Tattvabodha, then enjoy the spiritual study of Atmabodha, Bhagavad Gita, and the Upanishads. The Upanishads are the end, which we are studying on Sundays. Some of you are attending that. So, what is this Brahman or Atma? It is Satyam. Satyam means what? It can exist independently without the world called as Maya. What is Maya what is Maya? Maya means it is another word which is used for Maya is called Mithya. Very powerful word. Mithya is a very, very powerful term. It has got a special meaning in Veda. What is the meaning of Mithya? Mithya means it is an appearance only. I'll give you an example. You see a rope, but instead of seeing the rope, you see a rope snake in your mind. That is called as adhyasa, superimposing something on something else. That is called as mithya. Similarly, let dream. Dream is mithya. Dream whole dream world is nothing but it's your mind only projecting it, and then it becomes unmanifest. So anything which appears for a certain amount of time but does not have an independent existence is called as mithya. We have to apply this definition to our waking state and then say Atma is the ultimate existence principle. The entire waking state, the waking world is mithya. It is an appearance on Atma. This world of waking world cannot exist independently. It has to be superimposed on consciousness, awareness. Maya is also called as energy. In science, when we come to a reasonable extent of our analysis, we say the whole world is nothing but energy particles. Everything is energy. Our human body is energy. It's a packet of energy. The whole universe is a packet of energy. So science to a certain extent stops with energy. That energy is nothing but matter according to Veda. And that matter principle which is there throughout the world is called as Maya. This Maya is a dependent principle. What is the difference between Brahman and Maya? Satwa, Rajas, Tamo, Guna, Atmika, Maya. Now we are going a little bit deeper. The next level, we are trying to understand what is this Maya? How do you say that the whole world is something called as Maya? Then the Veda says, I will tell you how to see the world, how to visualize this world. You visualize this world in three forms, aspects. One aspect in Sanskrit is called as Satwa, which means brightness, knowledge. Any knowledge is bright. The second aspect is Rajas. Rajas means action, continuous action. The sun is shining, continuously shining for so many years. It never stops shining. The earth goes round, but I don't see the earth in the night and the sun in the night time. I don't see. It's my relativeness. But the sun is always there, timeless. So again, that is called as the Rajoguna aspect of Maya. What are we discussing now? Whatever we are discussing now is Maya. Maya means it is a power, it is a Shakti. That power is divided into three portions. One power we call it as Satwa, the second power we call it as Rajas, and the third portion is called as Tamas. I'm going slowly so that all of you can pick up for those who are coming into this text for the first time. For others, this Maya, Mithya, Satva, Rajas is very, very easy. They have done so much of study of Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and so on. For them, it may be very preliminary. But even though they have studied, they may not have gone into this depth of understanding what is this Maya. So tamas means it is not sattva, not rajas, it is something different than sattva and rajas. Sattva is knowledge, rajas is activity. Tamas means non-activity, inertia. Like in sleep, our body becomes tamoguna pradhana. It becomes more tamas oriented in the sleep state because the body is active in the waking state. It is semi active in the dream state and completely inactive in the sleep state. That condition of the matter principle is called as tamoguna. There are three faculties, three powers, three aspects, three facts, and what that is called as guna. Guna means attribute. It means it is a shakti. It is a power. This power rules over the entire universe, not only restricted to my body. My mind is also influenced by these three gunas. Now I'm going to use the word guna. Guna means attribute. Whenever you hear the word guna, from now on, you must remember three attributes: Satwa, Rajas, Tamas. Now, Satwa means it in the individual mind, it manifests as Jnana Shakti, the power to know the world. All of us have that power. We all know the world. We see the world. We hear the world. We taste the world. And so that power together is called as Jnana Shakti, the power of knowledge. Knowledge doesn't mean only intellectual knowledge. Knowledge here means knowledge through the five sense organs. Jnana Indriyas. Then what about Rajoguna? Rajoguna is called as Kriya Shakti, the power of action. The five sense organs are the Sattva Guna Pradhan, the knowledge oriented, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, those are knowledge oriented. At the body level, there is another set which we have studied before. It is called as the organs of action. Organs of action are continuously working. The legs want to run. The hands want to grasp things. So the power of action together of all the five organs of action is nothing but it is called as Rajoguna. What about Tamoguna? Tamoguna is the power of a substance, of a body. Now that suppresses Jnana and Kriya. Inertia means I feel sometimes in the afternoon, especially on a Saturday or a Sunday, I feel like relaxing. In the afternoon, I want to sleep. Or when I'm tired after the whole day at 9 o'clock, I feel very sleepy. The sleepiness in the body is called as tamoguna. See, if you are able to understand these aspects, then when you study the Gita then, or the Upanishad, then everything becomes easy. Because the Upanishads and the Gita are going to reveal Atma, which is not a guna. Guna is attribute is only for matter principle, which is the body. But consciousness is nirguna. Nirguna means what? It is without any attributes. Okay. Then let us try to go and understand what is a clip. A clip or a table does not have jnana shakti. A table or a chair are inert substances. senses. They don't have the capacity to know anything or to do anything by itself. Therefore, it is called as tamo guna pradhana. Pradhana means it is powered by tamas. Similarly, a car. You park a car, it doesn't have the knowledge principle, it doesn't have the power to act by itself. So, world requires dravya shakti. That means whenever there is a world, need the power of inert objects. That is what we call it as the world, physical world. So many galaxies are there in this creation. It is called as dravya shakti. All those galaxies are all what? They are all Maya Shakti. And where does that Maya Shakti belong to? It belongs to this Atma only. Maya belongs to Atma or Brahman. When it belongs to Brahman, it is called as Maya. When it belongs to Atma, it is called as Avidya. That we will learn. So, Trigunatmika Maya. At this point of time, you should understand the power of knowing something, the power of doing something is called as Maya in this body and also in the world. Pure Brahman, pure awareness, consciousness does not have Maya. It does not have it can do anything. It is only pure awareness. That pure awareness is called as Nirgunam Brahma. It is without any attributes. Maya has got attributes, Satwa, Rajas and Tamas. Brahman has no attributes. But Maya depends on Brahman. Anytime you see creation, anytime you are in the waking state, it is a play of both the spiritual self and the matter, body or universe. Creation, when we say, it is the mixture of Atma and anatma. In Saundarya Lahari, a very famous hymn, Lord Shiva is regarded as Brahman. And there it says, this Brahman cannot do anything by itself. It needs the Shakti, the power of Maya. By itself, the awareness is always there. That means what? If I say I am the awareness principle, I don't have to think about the body, world, and nothing. I am there. That is my real nature, which the Veda wants to reveal to me. This Nirgunam Brahma, now you can understand Nirgunam. Nirgunam means attributeless, Maya-less Brahman is the Chetana Brahman. It is the sentient principle. It is an eternal principle. Eternal means what? Changeless. So, awareness is consciousness, changeless principle. Now, that existed before creation. After creation, what happened? Now we are in creation. In creation, what do we see? Trigunatmika Maya. Trigunatmika Maya means what? Satwa, Rajas and Tamas is there. It is also given a name, Prakriti, nature. In English, we say nature, but in Sanskrit, we call it Maya. Nature is a very general term, but we analyze what is that nature. and we go deeper and say it is a power to know, it is a power, jnana shakti, kriya shakti, and dravya shakti. And this shakti can change, it can evolve. It depends on consciousness. So anytime you're seeing the world, you are the observer of this Maya. I am the sentient consciousness, awareness, and I become aware of the world. At the same time, I am consciousness, sentient principle. Without the world, I exist in sleep state. Veda comes and tells me that that is your real nature. Don't think that this waking state, birth, death, and all the activities you do, that is not the real nature. My real nature is that pure awareness. All of us are that only, and we are that in the sleep state. Without that, there is no world at all. So, world is achetanam. Achetanam means it is inert. It has no power of knowing itself. World cannot know itself. So many galaxies are there, but there must be a knower of that. Then only we say it exists. Suppose I come to know through some scientific paper there is a galaxy, there is Pluto, there is Neptune, there is all that. I am the consciousness principle which knows that. So consciousness is the awareness. What is the use of billions of stars and galaxies if there is no man who can enjoy that? So a person who knows that, the knowing principle is the ultimate substratum for the entire universe. Okay, I'm going very slowly so that this is a difficult topic, but if you have to go and understand how the Veda is treating the, we are trying to analyze the world as per the vision of the Veda, which is a very, very unique thing. You may not have had this type of a vision before. I'm trying to create that vision through the Shankaracharya's text, which is called as Tattvabodha. Next, we'll go to verse number 19. And now we are getting into how creation comes.
तत आकाशः सम्भूतः तत आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशात् वायुः आकाशाद् वायुः वायोस्तेजः वायोस्तेजः तेजस आपः तेजस आपः अद्भ्यः पृथिवी अद्भ्यः पृथिवी.
Shankaracharya borrows this knowledge given in Taittiriya Upanishad. See, all this, whatever Shankaracharya has written as Tattvabodha is nothing but whatever he has got from the Upanishads. The Upanishads he has condensed and then he has brought it to in this structured manner so that we can study the structured manner of the creation and then study the Upanishads. What is the goal? Ultimate goal is what? I'm telling you now itself. I should be able to say, I am the awareness, consciousness principle, I am eternal principle. Body is born, body is gone. But I am not the body. I am the awareness, consciousness principle. How do I know that this exists? Through the Veda. There is no other source for awareness, consciousness, as the ultimate substratum for this body and for the entire universe. No other source. You can go through all the philosophies, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Purvamasa. These are all different philosophies. Buddhism, Jainism, Christianity, Islam. So many different philosophies. Greek philosophy. All those philosophies have got different views and visions of the creation, who we are, and so on. This, what we are studying, is a very unique thing. It is not in the other philosophers. This is coming from a Paurusheya Pramanam. The source is not a living being. It is not a human being who has discovered this Veda. It has been there in creation. All the time in creation is there. This Veda, the knowledge about creation is there. Only those people who are interested in this because of their previous births, where they have undergone certain changes and they have done a certain amount of mind control, mind management, who are able to control their sense organs because of their previous uh, births. This is what the Veda tells us, that nobody comes to Veda directly in this birth. You have already studied something in your previous births. It is just a continuous continuity of the whatever you have learned in the past. Because ultimately, it is what decides is, it is called as samskaras. You see, today you're able to operate in the world because of your memory of whatever you've learned till now. Your memory of yesterday, your experiences of yesterday, your memory of your childhood, all what you have learned till today is your total package of what you know today. That knowledge is in the form of what? It is in the form of impressions, vrittis, thoughts. So in every birth, the mind continues. Mind and sense organs are taken away from the body to the next body. Okay, I'm digressing. Let me come back here. So what I was trying to say is Shankaracharya has taken this from Taittiriya Upanishad. Now, Maya, from Maya is what? A Shakti, a power. What is first born? Space. What comes out of space? Air. What comes out of air? Fire. What comes out of fire? Water. What comes out of water? Earth. This is the Vedic creation theory. Science will not accept this, but this is how Veda describes creation. Now, in the following slides, in the following maybe 30, 40 slides, you're going to understand the Vedic concept of creation. What is the first thing we should understand? Creation is a mixture of Chetana, means consciousness, which is attributeless, changeless, with matter. Matter is called as Achetanam Triguna Savikara. What is the meaning of Achetanam? Inert. Triguna means what? With three gunas. Savikara means what? Changing. That is what is matter. What is the pure spiritual consciousness principle, sentient, which is chetanam. Nirgunam means it is without the gunas. Maya has got gunas. So anytime your mind is changing, it has got two aspects. One is the consciousness aspect, and the second is the changing nature of the mind, which is matter principle. So Ardhanarishvara means matter and consciousness together, 50% matter, 50% consciousness, they join together, a male and a female join together, and they are able to create a child. Similarly, consciousness, Brahman, and Maya, Prakriti, they join together and creation starts. Out of the mixture, don't forget, anytime we are studying in the class, we should always remember it is a mixture of consciousness and matter. Body is the matter. Without eyes, I cannot know. Without ears, I cannot hear what I'm hearing now. Without tongue, I cannot speak. But all these depend on consciousness. So ultimately, Brahman or consciousness is blessing Maya. It only blesses. For example, sun is only present. It is not getting involved. It only, in the presence of the sun, all the living beings are activated. The prana functions, the apana functions. Prana means the breathing in and out. All that is functioning. Activity takes place on earth because of the sheer presence of sun. Suppose sun is not there, the earth will be dead. So in sheer presence of consciousness, all activities of all sense organs of all the living beings, they are sentient, they become sentient, and in sleep they become non-sentient. They go into unmanifest condition. For example, light in the hall. Light only blesses all the activities which are there in the hall. Light is required so that people can come and work. Without the light, there is no activity possible. In the presence of the light, a teacher and a student can play the roles of learning and teaching. So, like light, blessing, activity, pure consciousness, existence principle, blesses creation. That is the first thing we should understand. Don't forget this. Many people forget this, that creation is a mixture, and then they keep on arguing in a discussion. How is it possible? What is it possible? All that. But they've forgotten the basic. The basic is what? Whenever you talk of creation, you are always talking of a mixture. Whether it is waking state, dream state, sleep state, is always a mixture. Now, Tattvabodha, this has got a specific design of creation. I will tell you the 4 stages, and then we are going to expand on that so that we can understand what are the different stages of creation. The first stage is Sukshma Bhutani, subtle elements. There are 5 elements which we have seen before: earth, water, fire, air, space. Now, What we are experiencing in the world now, the water we experience is the gross water, not the subtle. There was a subtle water which was invisible. That is what is called as Sukshma Bhuta. Invisible, subtle, Sukshma. Sukshma means cannot be seen. Earth, it can be seen today, but it is a mixture. What Veda says is, before this earth was created, there was an earth element before the gross element, which you can understand. Now, from the subtle five elements, there is a world created. And it is called as Sukshma Prapancha or Sukshma Bhautika Shariram. Whenever we are discussing the world, we are going to use two things. One is the individual body, which is called as Shariram, and the macro, which is the Prapancha. Prapancha means it is the totality, the universe, universal. Now, Bhautika means it is a product. What it is a product of what? It is a product of the subtle elements. Okay. As you go by, you will understand more and more. So don't worry if you are at this stage, just try to listen to the creation as per the Veda. Bhutam means elements. Bhautikani means elemental, combination. How that combination comes, we will see later. Matter modifies and becomes bhautikam. Matter, five elements, they modify and become elemental. In the scriptures, especially in Puranas, they say there is a heaven. There are 14 lokas, 14 worlds, invisible to us. Now, those lokas are made up of subtle elements, sukshma bhutanis. Therefore, I will not be able to see that heaven and all that. Standing on this earth, I cannot understand. I can't even hear what happens there. My instrument is gross. Veda says, Puranas, they say there are 14 subtle worlds. So this is, so far what have we discussed? Subtle elements and subtle elemental, products of elements. All this will be used when we start understanding our own body and the world. This is just a introduction. The third stage, from the subtle elements, gross elements are formed. Sthula Bhuta Srishti. Evolution of subtle elements into gross elements. There is a process which we will see probably very shortly. It is called as Panchikaranam. How elements join together and make gross elements. Now, gross elements, subtle earth becomes gross earth. Subtle air becomes gross air. Now, gross elements, they produce something called as gross world through a combination. We have seen subtle elements can form subtle world. For example, our emotions, subtle. That is how do we experience this? It is experienced, right? Yes. Our mind, subtle. We all experience it. Can we say that it is of this form and that form? No. So subtle elements form subtle mind, gross elements form the gross body. Similarly, subtle elements are the laws which govern the universe. The gross universe is what our sense organs can perceive. So now, what are the four stages? I repeat. First is the subtle elements. Then is the subtle products, elements to elementals. Then gross elements. Then gross products. Tangible. What is the meaning of gross? My sense organs can perceive the gross world. The body is not made up of only the earth, the chemicals. Body is also made up of water, fire, air. So it's a combination of the five elements. There is temperature 98.4 degrees. If it goes 100 degrees, it's a big problem. So the fire element is there in the body. Water is there. They say 60-70% of the body is only water. And then body is there in what? Body is there in space. In space only all the bodies are there. So Srishti or cosmos is a four-stage process which we have described as Sukshma Bhutam, Sukshma Bhautikam, Sthula Bhutam, Sthula Bhautikam. Subtle element, subtle elemental, gross element, gross elementals. Where do all this come from? Maya. What is Maya? Satwa, Rajas, Tamas, which we call it as nature in English. And nature is what? Is it conscious or is it inert? It is inert. It has got all the three functions, but it is inert in nature. When it combines with consciousness, it gets knowledge. Then we call it Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, and all that. But without the consciousness, it is pure nature. Pure consciousness is sentient. It is, but it remains sentient only. It exists. It cannot do anything. Pure nature cannot do anything. Only the combination becomes the word. Sambhuta means born or evolves. What evolves first? Space. Now, space is not eternal because it is born. Every time there's a creation, a new space will come, a second space will come, according to Veda, again, not according to science. Space, according to is eternal. It is eternally present. Eternally is relative eternality. Planets, stars, they are all created in space. Einstein says there is no space before creation, which is true. But what exists? Prakriti exists, Maya exists, unmanifest space exists, according to Veda. Before Big Bang, there was unmanifest nature of the world. After Big Bang, the space was created. Space is not nothingness, but it is a subtle positive material, according to Veda. It is not emptiness, it is a guna. And what is the guna? Science says it is elastic, bending, curving space. But what we say is space is elastic matter. Space is created and from subtle matter, but there is a property of sound which belongs to space. Sound does not belong to the earth. Sound does not belong to the air. Sound does not belong to the water. Sound belongs to the element called as space. It is the property of Akasha. And space has got only one guna. I'm going to now slowly expand this. Now, slowly, I'm coming from Maya to three gunas, from three gunas to creation. So, sound is possible only in space. Now, space does not have touch. You cannot touch space. You cannot smell the space. You can smell the air in the space, but not the space. Space does not have a form. Space is formless. Space does not have a taste. We can't hear Akasha with subtle ears. We can hear Akasha when you produce a sound. For example, 7 colors of the light, we all know, studied in school. Now, when light passes through a prism, then our eyes can recognize the 7 colors. Our eyes without the prism cannot see the light. If I see a tube light or any light, I will not be able to see even a sunlight during the day. If I pass it through a prism, then only I can see the 7 colors. So when other elements come into existence, we are able to recognize the sound. Otherwise, sound itself cannot be known without the other 4 elements. Now, yogis have heard a sound of Atma, which they call this as anahhata shabda. Om, Om, Om. They have heard the sound Om in their meditation. They say Om is avyakta shabda, unmanifest sound. Manifest sound everybody knows. It can be any word. Unmanifest sound in space, ordinary ears cannot hear it. You have to be a rishi. Now, we have seen space. From space, second element is born. What is that? Now, space has got Shabda Guna. What is the second element? Air. Air has got the guna of touch. It can be felt by the skin. My skin can feel the heat. My finger can touch and see the softness. Sparsha. Sparsha means touch. I don't see the vayu, I don't see the air, but I can feel the air. Suppose it is very cold. You go to a hill station. Your skin will find, or go to any cold place, or when it is snowing, your skin can recognize the heat and cold. That heat and cold is a principle of the air element. Second guna. Sparsha guna belongs to what? The air principle. Third, we are studying one by one how the elements have evolved and how the gunas, the attributes which are related to the elements, are also evolved. When I show you a final Excel sheet, you will understand the whole picture. Third is fire. Fire in Sanskrit is called as tejaha. Now we are talking about sukshma tejaha. Sukshma teja means what? And you cannot see it. It is a element which was there before this creation came up. So what is the guna of special attribute of fire. The special attribute of fire is rupam. Fire, it has got the attribute of rupam. Rupam means color or uh, 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 form, form or color. Now, Agni, at the level of the third element, it becomes slightly visible. Agni can be seen, fire can be seen. We all see fire. Now, at the third level, the space and air we can't see, invisible to the eyes. But Agni, once Agni comes, form and color, I can see the world. From Agni, the fourth element is water. Water has got an attribute. What is the attribute of water? All know. Taste. Water has a unique taste. With the help of water, we can distinguish all other tastes. Coca-Cola, Fanta, so many drinks are there. So by tasting water, we can see the difference between orange juice, watermelon juice, and so on. The fifth element is Prithvi. Prithvi has got a special attribute. It has got other attributes also of the other four elements because Prithvi is a combination of five elements. So, what is the quality of Prithvi's special attribute? Smell. That's why when it rains, you can smell the earth. You cannot smell the water. You can smell the earth. You cannot smell the air. You can smell the contents. Maybe there are particles. So, we have seen five elements. Akasha has got one property, touch, sparsha. It is recognized by one sense organ, the skin. Vayu has got two properties. One property, it is its own, which is sparsha. Sparsha means touch, which it takes from Akasha. And then Akasha has Shabda Guna, and there is a mistake here. One guna which is not sparsha, it should be corrected. It should be Shabda, and the Vayu should be sparsha and Shabda. So there are two sense organ we can recognize two gunas which is sparsha and Shabda. These are Sanskrit terms, but the five elements have got touch, which I described before. It has got form. Agni has got form and color, which is called as rupa. Vayu has got sparsha, which is touch. Akasha has got shabda, which is the attribute of Akasha. So then comes apaha. This is a summary. Apaha means water. Water has got gunas of you can touch the water, you can feel the water because it is a combination of four elements. Now, sparsha, shabda, rupa, rasa. Rasa is the special quality or attribute of apaha. Prithvi is grossest. All the five attributes are Prithvi. So, what is recognized more sense organs is called as gross. What is recognized by less sense organs is called as subtle. The subtlest is space. I can know only when there is sound in space. Sound manifests space. So Akasha is sound, Vayu is sound and touch, Agni is sound, touch and form, Jalam means water. Sound, touch, form and taste. Prithvi means sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. The grossest is Prithvi, earth, the subtlest is space. Vata means air, Agni means fire, Jalam means water. For those people who don't understand Sanskrit, I want to be a little bit more precise so that they also can understand what we are talking. Now, the next topic, I will introduce it. I may not be able to finish it, but let me just start.
ये तेषां पञ्चतत्त्वानां मध्ये ये तेषां पञ्चतत्त्वानां मध्ये आकाशस्य सात्विकांशात् श्रोत्रेन्द्रियं सम्भूतं वायोः सात्विकांशात् त्वगिन्द्रियं सम्भूतं अग्नेः सात्विकांशात् चक्षुरिन्द्रियं सम्भूतं जलस्य सात्विकांशात् रसनेन्द्रियं सम्भूतं पृथिव्याः सात्विकांशात् घ्राणेन्द्रियं सम्भूतं
What this verse wants to say is there is a connection between the organs of knowledge, organs of action in this body with the five elements. That is the essence of this verse. What are the details you can see in the chart? All the five elements, they are responsible for the functioning of our body. Five elements. That is why when you study Atma and Anatma, you should be able to say the entire field of experiences which I am having is anatma. It is not Atma. Because body itself is only five elements. And whatever we are experiencing through the body is only because of the five elements which have given birth to the eyes, ears, tongue, skin, nose, hands, legs, genitals, anus. Okay. When we study, let us now divide into two parts. The first part is the organs of knowledge. You take space. What explains space, you will be able to understand other elements. Space has got sound as the main attribute. So what will space create? The ears. And there is a deity. Deity means it is a devata. The whole world is controlled by many powers. Thousands of powers are there. In the stars, there is different power. In the body, there is different power. In the world, different power. All these powers are called devatas. Chakshur devata suryaha. Eyes, for the eyes, the sun god. Sun is the physical aspect, but there is a power behind that sun functioning. We will understand the devata as we go by, but for those newcomers, at this point of time, you just say there is a power which is responsible for the functioning of these elements and the creation of the organs of knowledge and action. So sound the space element produces air, and it is dig devata. The air element produces the skin, and it is vayu devata. The fire element produces the eyes, which is the surya devata. Devata is outside, but the body is ultimately who produces the body in the embryo. There is some power. That power it's a power. It is all pervading. It can do things anywhere. Water produces the tongue, hence it is called Varuna Devata. The Devata which produces the tongue is called as Varuna Devata, which produces also the water, the element water. Earth, Prithvi, it produces what? It produces the nose. Ashwini Kumara. These are the Devatas. Now, this is about the organs of knowledge. The same five elements are also producing the organs of action. See how Vedic creation is. Totally different than what we will study in a science book. No science book will teach you like this. We have studied science, biology, physiology, all that, but not in this format. Space produces the first organ of action, tongue. Tongue can be used for speech. Tongue can be used for organ of knowledge also. So tongue serves it has got two indriyas. One is karana indriyam, which is for action. Another is jnana indriyam, which is for knowledge. When it produces the taste, it is knowledge. When you're using it for speech, the same tongue I'm speaking. There it is the action. Second is air produces hands. Indra Devata. First one is Agni Devata. Fire produces legs. The Devata which produces the legs is called Vishnu Devata. Locomotion. It has got the ability to move. Prajapati produces the genitals, which is basically the element of water. And last one is the earth produces the anus or eliminating process of the waste. So this is how creation is explained in the Veda. Maya Shakti means the totality. It got Satwa, Rajas and Tamas. Satwa is there in two formats. One is the subtle element. The subtle element produces the subtle organs of knowledge. The gross elements, they produce the organs of action. We'll see. Now we will go a little bit deeper as to what produces what. Again, let me see if I can just take this verse, and we have another 5-7 minutes. And no, just 3 minutes left. So I think I will take this next week. We'll start from verse number 21, and which is 189. And we'll start with this. Basically, what you have to understand, the bottom line is that body is made up of 5 elements, and the 5 elements have produced all the organs of knowledge and organs of action. Atma is the consciousness, awareness principle. It is not a part of nature, prakriti, or maya. It is an independent principle. So next week we will study a little bit more on this type of, you see, I told you Maya has got Satwa, Rajas and Tamas. Which Satwa produces what, Rajas produces what, Tamas produces what. That is what we have to see. Okay, so we'll continue next week. We'll stop here, and Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevapasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So now we will take up questions. If you have some questions, I've chat box. Okay, the first one is okay. Only 2, 3 questions. Okay, Jagannath is asking: is Brahman and Maya interdependent? Okay, good question. Brahman is not interdependent. Brahman is independent. Try to understand this. Ultimately, what am I saying? Aham Brahmasmi. I am of the nature of Brahman. I am Atma. I am pure awareness, consciousness. It is an independent principle. Are you clear, Jagannath? Please understand. This is a very common question. It is better to ask the question and get it clarified, because these are fundamentals in Vedanta. Many people, they get confused because first time we are listening. You see, we have not heard of panchabhutas and all this in this format. Second, is Maya dependent or independent or interdependent? We cannot use the word interdependent here. We should just ask the question, dependent or independent. I said Brahman or Atma is independent. Maya is dependent. It is not interdependent. It is dependent. Maya means world. My body, your body, the entire world, which is of matter. Now, matter stands on Brahman. Matter stands on consciousness. Without consciousness, there is no world. Again, remember this one single point. It'll help you to clear many doubts in Vedanta. One very important point is, can I have the experience of only the world? Can I have the experience of only consciousness? Not possible. Experience is not possible, but understanding is possible. Knowledge is possible. Veda gives us the knowledge. And intellectually, we have to say, Aham Brahmasmi only by knowledge from the Veda. It is not an experience of consciousness. It is not an independent experience of consciousness. It's not there. Not possible. Because consciousness needs a medium. It needs a medium called the body to experience the world. That's all. Consciousness does not need a body to experience itself. There's nothing called an experience of consciousness. It is only understanding that there is something called as consciousness. And understanding as what? Not as an object, but as the very subject. Aham, I am that pure awareness. I am that consciousness principle. Veda wants to tell the jiva today what is the. Okay, let me explain to you what do you mean by jiva. Jiva means it is that consciousness principle which gets associated with body or mind and says, I am this body, I am this, I am Gayatri, I am Ajita. Ajita doesn't is not a name of consciousness. Ajita is only a name of a body, which has got the body has got a mind. Ajita can say, I am very, very bright person. I understand everything. But it is an attribute of the intellect. It's not the attribute of the consciousness. Consciousness exists by itself. Okay, so I hope you're clear. Maya is dependent, Brahman is independent. Jagannath, are you clear? Unmute everybody so that you can now start answering whenever after my explanation. Yeah, Jagannath, can you unmute yourself and then say yes or no, whether you've understood? Okay, good. You have replied in the chat box. Good. Thank you. Next is question. Okay. Satish Kumar. He has got two questions. Tattvamasi in waking state, we are trying to mimic the sleep. Can one operate in the world which does not exist though? So awareness had to be there. Am I correct? Is this a way when objectless awareness should kick in? Okay. You are 50% correct. Okay. Tattvamasi in the waking state. For example, let's other people let's try to understand his question. Tat Tvam Asi. This is from Chandogya Upanishad. Tat means that consciousness I am. That consciousness I am. Now, his question is a very deep question. He's asking in the waking state, suppose I close my eyes and then I say, I am that consciousness. Tattvamasi is a teaching of a guru. So when you close your eyes and say Tattvamasi, it means you should say Aham Brahma Asmi. That is the right approach to claiming that consciousness. Now, you are also bringing the sleep state. Now, what you are asking is, are you mimicking the sleep state in the waking state? Which does not exist, though. What ultimately your question number one is, how does one experience objectless awareness? That is the essence of your first question. Good question. The only way you can understand objectless awareness is from the Veda. Veda is the Praman. So when I close my eyes and say, I am that consciousness, awareness, that is what is called as objectless awareness. You are not bringing it. You're only saying, I am that consciousness. So the way to understand objectlessness is by claiming I am that pure consciousness. If you say Aham Brahmasmi in meditation, it is going nearer towards your nature. But you should know what is that Brahman. That is why all this Tattvabodha, Chandogya Upanishad, everything is there. To when I say in my mind, when I say Aham Brahma Asmi or Tattvamasi teaching, when I try to bring that teaching in my mind in the waking state, I should know the Mahavakyam completely, which is the study which you are doing. Slowly, when we study this, uh, but I'm quite sure for a little bit more advanced student, I will tell you what it means. What I'm saying is only for you or those people who can understand. At the level of Mahavakyam, you are completely aware of your nature. You have dropped the body intellectually. You have dropped the world intellectually, negated, sublimated. You have falsified the body and the world. And then you are saying, Aham Brahma Asmi. And then you're bringing the teaching of the Veda, of Chandogya Upanishad, of Brihadaneka Upanishad, and claiming that remainder self as your nature. That is the way to proceed towards understanding your ultimate self. Okay. Okay. Good. Satish Kumar, can you interact? Are you there at the moment?
Yes.
If yeah, is it clear?
Yes, it's very clear.
Okay, good. Now I'll move to your second question. Your second question is, by reflecting Tattvamasi in waking state, does dream stop or become less frequent? Yes. See, dream will come so long as your impressions of the world are there in your karana sharira, in your causal body. As you keep on not as you keep on reflecting on this Tattvamasi and Aham Brahmasmi, what happens is all your subtle impressions they go away, they are eliminated. So your dreams will stop. I'm telling you from practical example, dreams will stop, dreams will definitely be of a different type. There is a big impact of self knowledge on your dreams. Big impact. It is there. But you have to experience it. You see, the more you experience, the more you tell yourself, I am that consciousness. What happens really is all your sanchita karma, because you are an advanced student, I'm explaining to you sanchita karma. Sanchita karma means your impressions which are there in your karana shariram for so many births.
Yeah.
The dreams come to you today not because you have experienced something yesterday or 5 years ago or 10 years. It may be the dream of what you have experienced also. But many people, they dream something which they have not experienced in this life at all. Now, those are ultimately dreams you understand is Karana Sharir. Which is nobody can know his Karana Sharir because it's invisible. It is there, but it is a part of me. If I am associated with the physical body as I, then I will say the subtle body is also I, causal body is also I. Suppose I say I am the consciousness awareness, you will drop your three bodies because that is the understanding of Mahavakyam. So, am I clear, Satish?
Yes, yes, yes. Because see, the second question is because I'm a bad sleeper, right? So I kind of started practicing this for quite some time, and I
Yeah.
could see that my there is less dreams coming.
Yes. Good.
So I
So
felt
I
better.
told you it is a personal experience.
Yeah.
You'll find that your dreams are less and less.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what I was thinking.
Yes, you're right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next question is from Sugandhi. Is Brahman is equal to self and Maya is equal to self and mind and body? Correct. Absolutely right. Correct equation. Brahman means self. Brahman means I in my real nature. Suppose I drop all the bodies. Now I know Tattvabodha very well. I drop all the bodies, three bodies, the five koshas, the three avasthas. I drop them. What will I be left? I'll be left with my consciousness, awareness, which is what Veda is telling me is I am that self. Okay. So first part of your question is Brahman is equal to self is correct. And what uh, okay, you have is Brahman is equal to self and Maya is equal to self and mind. Okay. Now you're coming to Maya, which is expressing as mind. Okay. Maya means your mind. So the same Brahman, suppose you drop the mind, then it becomes the self. With the mind, it is called as Maya. So Brahman plus mind is equal to Maya. Brahman minus the mind is equal to the self. That is how you should understand. I will rephrase the equation. Brahman is equal to mind plus self. Mind is Maya. You can say mind stroke Maya plus the self. Brahman minus the mind, you shift the mind and Maya to the other side. And then what remains here? That is the self. See, in simple terms, it means whenever I am not experiencing my mind and I know the condition, that condition which I know through the Veda is called as the Brahman, is called as the self. It is not the sleeping jiva. Don't try to go to sleep and say, I have now I know I am Brahman. No, you must know Brahman in the waking state. You must know because it is an understanding of the Veda. Okay. Sugandhi, am I clear?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next. Yeah. Thank you. Rajiv is asking, why can't we have a simple intellect? Is that what Sarva Jivana, Sarveknya Sukhino Bhavati mean? Oh, okay. See, Sarvakya Sukhino Bhavati means it's a simple intellect. Okay, let everybody be happy. It's a very simple. All the time you say, let everybody be happy. Everybody includes me also. So that is one methodology of quietening your mind. By doing this, what you are saying, you are only trying to quieten the mind. It is not Atma Vijnana. It is not Atma Jnana. Atma Jnana you'll get only when you have Mahavakya. When you do Mahavakya Vichara, then you will get the knowledge of the self and you will claim your freedom from the intellect. See, ultimately, you don't want a refined intellect and say that is a first step. Saying Sarva Sukhina Bhavantu means you're having a refined intellect. But ultimately, you have to go another step ahead. And that is, I am that Atma you should claim. Rajiv, is it clear?
Yeah, Shekharji, sorry for mistyping up there. My question was, why can't all of us have the same intellect?
Oh, you see,
Yeah,
the
why can't
problem
we?
is, yeah. See, there is no, okay, you are asking why God created human beings with so many intellects and so many different types of intellects. Now, I don't have an answer to that question. We have to see from where we are today and then trace back our origin. See, why is the world created like this? There are so many philosophers. Even if I give you an answer, again, that answer will change because it will not satisfy you. Different intellects will give different answers to your question. It is not possible because that is the way the world is. Creation you is where jivas have been existing, jivas have been liberated. That is how Veda describes creation. Now, why God created mind and intellect in this fashion? No answer. It is there. We understand the world as it is, and then we try to understand ourselves with reference to this intellect. Am I clear, Rajiv?
Y- Yeah, Shekharji, thank you.
Yeah, I have not given you a straight answer because there is no straight answer for your question. Because it is, you have to accept the world. There is nobody can say why God did not create everybody as a male, everybody as a female, everybody as a jnani, everybody why, then God becomes partial and so on, okay, I won't go into the answering of that question because it's got too many ifs and buts. uh, Okay, Shama has quoted. Okay, next is Shama. She has quoted, dreams are the mind speaking in the symbols of its bondage or freedom. Correct. He who knows himself as Brahman, Ashtavakra Gita. Okay, good. Good quotations. Shama, do you want to expand on that?
Hari Om Shekhar-ji. No, it's
Yes.
an absolutely beautiful subject and a topic to think about, all this
Yeah.
cosmology, the Vedantic cosmology, and as to where we as individuals fit in. And then, of course, the experiential part of it, which you started today with, the three avasthas, the three avasthas, the pancha koshas. So now coming to the dream itself, and very clearly, actually, it is very much related to our, our individual daytime experience.
Correct.
Yeah, and so therefore it almost logical. And I know for phases, there are phases when my daytime experience, I'm at a very high level in terms of my kind of Vedantic experience. And then I hardly ever see dream. On the other hand, like for example, when there is some terrible news and whatever, and I haven't obviously evolved spiritually to such an extent that I can say it doesn't affect me. And sure enough, I have terrible dreams. So even for the same individual, it varies, in terms of where I can detach myself and where I cannot. So there's a definite correlation. And I truly believe that once you're a realized person, realized Brahman, not just intellectually knowing, uh, there will hardly be any dreams. And that is what Aurobindo and what is written in Ashtavakra. And the waking is as you're aware of the waking state like a dream. It has to be, there's no difference between a dream and the waking state, isn't it?
Correct. That's right. That's what
Yeah.
Ashtavakra Gita says, and he says,
Uh,
and that's what Mandukya says. Mandukya
yeah.
Upanishad ultimately says waking is also a dream.
Correct. Correct.
So
And
from
the
and in the waking state is ultimately where you have to say, I am not the part of this waking state. That's all. You see, Tattvabodha is teaching me that I am not one of the states of the mind. I am Atma. Atma is different than anatma. Anatma is the mind.
And Shekharji, I just wanted to share the second part of the questions which we were discussing today about why the intellect is different. And of
Yeah,
course, like it's straight away to begin with, one will say it's a biological and genetic basis, where we have a genetic component different, you know, and then of course, like all the childhood factors, nutrition, health, trauma, and all those things. But what's beautiful is I couldn't help resist the question. So I did look up the chat GPT. Can you imagine? And it's the second part where it says is Vedantic views, vasanas, samskaras, and gunas. It actually spells it out in Advaita
beautiful.
and Sankhya. Yeah, in
Yeah,
Advaita Sankhya, I was shocked to see this. I just felt tempted, so I did this. Every individual carries, I'm just reading it from there, vasanas, samskaras from past life or experiences. These influence the subtle body, Shukshma Sharira, particularly the buddhi, the discriminative intellect. Influencing factor. This is so beautiful. I love this. Gunas. So not only that what we have got from past samskaras and the vasanas, but the influencing factor, Satwa, Rajas, and Tamas. So,
very
so
good, excellent.
yeah,
The chat
I just
GPT
can't. Yeah,
is very intelligent.
yeah, no, and it's just incredible.
Yeah,
And it also quotes Ramakrishna. A learned fool is
yeah,
more foolish than an ignorant one. At least the foolish, ignorant person is not causing damage, but a learned fool really will cause damage, isn't it? I mean, I'm
yeah,
just
because he doesn't know
adding
he's a
to,
fool.
yeah. So, and that he is a learned. So I just wanted to share it. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
good.
giving me this
Thank you.
space. Thanks.
Yeah. So good. Thank you, Shama. You have answered
Mm.
Rajiv's question of the intellect. And see, this chat GPT and artificial intelligence, they've gone so far ahead even today. Uh, I will, somebody sent me an article about how their artificial intelligence program is using my Vedantic website for
Ah,
answers. I was absolutely amazed. So it can read the notes in my website and give answers, and it can quote. Amazing.
so I don't
So
know. Probably this is what it has done. My
yeah,
chat
no, no, no.
GPT
I'm just
is
no,
from
no. But
my.
I'm just saying there are so many AI programs today in the world. Uh, there is somebody he sent me saying that somebody has developed an AI program with reference to
Uh,
not only my notes, also with reference to some other Vidyalaya notes and their teaching, because my teaching is very similar to them. They have used my website also. It's a part of
wow,
some other websites. So
wonder.
it's amazing. It's really how things are shaping up. Nobody knows. Here we take so much of time and effort to put things
Yeah.
together and understand. And
Yes.
here is in 1 second, a chat GPT can give you the same knowledge in 5 seconds.
Yeah. It's just picked up this quote, which is so beautiful. Even the sharpest intellect must
Yeah.
bow before the stillness of the being.
Hmm.
It's just so profound, so profound. It's just so beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Shekari.
Shama. Okay. Manikandan has a question. In sleep, can we say that intellect of everyone is an avakta form? Yes. Sleep state is a state in which the mind and intellect, mind means the emotions, intellect means, here I'm talking about deep sleep, not the dream state. Deep sleep state where the emotions are not there. You don't feel angry, you don't feel jealous, nothing is there in deep sleep. And intellect means I am a doer, I am an enjoyer, that is also not there. So it is an avyakta form. Avyakta form means what? It is not dead and gone. It is unmanifest. Avyakta means unmanifest. So, in deep sleep, the intellect is there, but it is in avyakta form. It is in unmanifest form. As soon as the mind wakes up, after 8 hours of sleep or 6 hours of sleep, intellect comes again. So, in the waking state, the intellect is manifest. In the deep sleep state, it is unmanifest. Jnana indriyas, the sense organs, are manifest in the waking state. In the deep sleep state, they go into unmanifest condition. Veda has said that these are the conditions of the mind equipment. Mind withdraws the sense organs to itself. Mind withdraws itself to the heart. Prashna Upanishad, Bhashyam, Shankara Bhashyam, he clearly says. So in deep sleep state is a very important state to understand the real Vedanta. Vedanta tells me I am beyond the deep sleep state. But you should not go to deep sleep state and hope that one day in deep sleep I will come to know Atma. It will never happen. Deep sleep state is a tamasic mind. In waking alone, you can know your real nature as Atma or as Brahman. Manikandan, have I answered your question?
Yes, Srigaj. Actually, I was referring to Rajiv sir's question about the why we are not having one intellect.
Okay.
Uh,
Good.
So, I mean to say that even though, as you mentioned, it is the manifestation, like a seed coming out of the tree coming out of the seed. The world is also coming out from the seed form. So
Correct.
there is no, even though it appears like different parts like branch, leaves, and trunk,
Correct.
but
Like you,
it is
for an ignorant person, he will say there are different intellects. But for
okay.
a
That is
jnani,
what I'm.
yeah, for a jnani, he will say there are no different intellects because all these intellects go into unmanifest condition in sleep. So in sleep, are you the intellect? No. So a person who says there are many intellects and everything, why God does not create all the people as one intellect, basically he has jnana. Jnana means what? All intellects, they come into unmanifest condition. And beyond that unmanifest condition is Atma. Therefore, Atma is called as Sakshi. Sakshi of the unmanifest condition of the entire universe. That is the real meaning of Sakshi. That is the real meaning of Atma. That is how you have to go deeper and deeper and deeper and say, I am that Atma. Even in waking state, when you use Nirvana Shatkam mantras, or tomorrow we'll use some of these Dakshinamurti Stotam mantras for meditation, ultimately you should come to this teaching and say, I am Nirguna Atma. I am Nirguna. That means there is no intellect in me. Good. Manikandan, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Satish has come back with one more question, and that is, do you have mind map for Tattvabodha teachings? Okay, what do you mean by that? Satish, can you explain to me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Sir. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mind map is like it's a diagrammatic view of the whole Tattvabodha teaching.
Oh, I don't have that. You
Okay.
can develop it. I'm
So
sure you can.
yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. One.
You can go ahead and share it with everybody, or share it with me first, and then as you
I'll
finish
slowly
it,
start it. Yeah, I'll slowly start.
no problem. That's a good exercise.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a good exercise. You should spend time, but you have to spend a little bit more time on it, develop it, and then as you learn Vedanta more and more clearly, this mind map will change.
Yeah.
Initially, your mind map will look like this.
Yes. It's going
But
to go
as
through.
you evolve,
Yeah.
slowly you will find the mind map changes, and then you yourself will do the corrections.
Yeah.
So
It's
you
an
should look at the
ongoing process.
ongoing process. You
Yes.
should develop it.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 50. So
50. So you should develop it, and then what you should do is every 2-3 months you should look at it
yeah.
and see whether any change are required.
Yeah.
Again, look at it after 3-4 months. Again, look at it. You make one mind map and say, "This is what I have learned from Tattvabodha."
Yeah.
Okay, and then when you do Atmabodha, again revise that.
Yes.
You can do another mind map as per Atmabodha.
Yeah.
Then, when you study Bhagavad Gita, again you do a mind map and say, "This is the mind map with reference to Bhagavad Gita."
Yeah.
Then, what you should do, every Upanishad, you should say, "This is the mind map. This is
Yeah.
what is the mind learned from Mandukya Upanishad, Katho Upanishad." Each one you should say, "This is the mind map. This is the mind map. This is the mind." What the mind map is nothing but it is a vision.
Yes.
It is just a vision for your mind to see the world. That's all.
Yeah.
The way you should develop it is, my mind understands the world like this from Tattvabodha. There are three gunas, there is jnana indriyas, there is karma indriyas. Through jnana indriyas and karma indriyas, I see the world of plurality. Satwa, rajas, tamas is at the top. Then you have jnana indriyas, karma indriyas, and then the world. This is your mind map for Tattvabodha.
See, the thing is, what
At the top should be consciousness, awareness.
Yeah. So the thing which triggered me is like, I don't know why we did all our whatever the education which we went through, right? It's okay to live in the mind rather than in the world. That's how it looks like. So this is the Vedanta is the first thing which I think any child should start learning. Not so.
Yeah. I mean, you can teach. I mean, you see, that is why at 9 years and 10 years, if your child is bright enough, you can teach. This is the way the world is, you know.
But
Uh,
I came to be aware of this in the last 1 year, right? So
yes,
I'm 50 and I just came to aware of this in the last 1 year. So when interacting with my kids, I could see the difference after going through this 1 year of education. I could see a huge difference between.
very good. Yes, and
So
you will see a huge difference as you progress. I'm telling you,
yeah,
there are so many people in this group itself who have completely changed.
Mm.
What they were 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, they are totally changed. And the mind is still evolving to see the world. And see, as the mind evolves, you will find that you are more happier and happier and happier because
yes,
you develop shock absorbers
yes,
for all the problems you get in the world.
yeah. So,
See, ultimately, that is the success of the study of Vedanta. You develop shock absorbers within your own mind. Oh, so what? You know, from what to so what is the journey. Normally, as normal jivas, as ajnani jivas, as ignorant persons, for every situation, we'll say, what?
yeah,
That will be normal. But suppose you have learned Vedanta, you will not say what will not be a first question. Your first question in your own mind will be, okay, so what? Something has happened. It had to happen as per the law of creation. I am Atma. I am pure consciousness. Nothing affects me, the pure Atma.
yes,
That is the ultimate knowledge of a jnani. Sthitaprajna jnani in the 55th verse of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita explains the mindset of a jnani. You change from what to so what. So what it means, okay, fine, these are things are happening, but I have no control over those events. Therefore, I should not get affected by it. It is a law of Ishvara. That's all. And then, even in our own personal life, there are so many things which happen to us. A lot of tragedies also happen to us. We lose money, we lose relationships, we lose so many things. They do affect us. I'm not saying they do not. But with the help of Bhagavad Gita study and Upanishadic study, Bhagavad Gita is the first preliminary text for the self study. After Atmabodha and Tattvabodha, then ultimately, when you come to Upanishads, you are a very, very senior seeker. And you will find as you study Upanishads, the study itself makes your mind different.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything else.
True, true.
Just to keep listening, Shravanam. That's why they keep importance of Shravanam in our Vedic study.
Yeah.
First importance is Shravanam, listening.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Thanks, and sorry for taking your time too much.
No problem. Yeah, Ramachandran, can you you have a question? You've been waiting for a very long time. Can you unmute yourself, Ramachandra? Ramachandra Murthy?
Namaste, Sekharji.
Yeah, namaste. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So,
Yeah, tell me.
I just wanted to express that there was a mind map which I also was referring.
Yeah,
I think somebody asked for the mind map, right? I just
yeah.
wanted to say that. But yeah, that's fine. I can share that.
Yeah, you have anything to add in that? Satish Kumar had asked. You have anything to add on the mind map?
No, I have a mind map for the Tattvabodha. I collected it.
No problem. You can share it. You can share
Yeah.
it to
Yeah.
Satish Kumar. It's good. Satish Kumar is there in the group. You will find him his details, or Satish Kumar can just give your phone number, or Satish, you can give your phone number, or
Yeah.
Ramchandra, you can give your phone number to him.
Yeah, sure, Sekharji. Yeah, namaste.
Okay, thanks.
You can get in touch with each other. You can just put your phone number here on the chat box so that he can call you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Guhan is just expressing. Rajiv, parallel to this, I started listening to Shekhar's Bhagavad Gita series. How I understand is completely. Oh, yeah. Rajiv, very good. Excellent. There are many people who have listened to the Bhagavad Gita, Master Life series of mine in the website. That is really, it will change your mind. I've seen many, many people around the world who have listened to those talks on the Gita, and they have transformed. There are people who have had tremendous emotional problems, tremendous emotional disturbances. Lord Krishna gave to Arjuna in the battlefield that medicine, that capsule of 18 chapters. But in my teaching assignments in the last 15, 20 years, I have found many seekers who have gone through these talks on Master Gita, Master Life. They have taken their own time, maybe 2, 3 years for the entire study, but definitely it has changed them. They have written back to me and said, I have changed, I have understood, and of course they have been discussing with me also. And I know for a fact that they see what happens is you accept life as it comes. That is a big change. Before that, what happens is, why me? Why me? That question keeps on coming to your mind. You lose mind, why me? Why did I lose this money? You lose relationships. Why? At this age, why did I lose this relationship? So many questions in life are there for every one of us. See, the emotional side, all of us have to face it. In each one of us, it is a different type experience. Emotions cannot be stopped, but you can develop a shock absorber, which is the Vedantic knowledge of Atma. It definitely helps you to glide through the life. Okay, good. So, Satish, you can be in touch with Ramchandra. Ramchandra has also taught Tattvabodha to many people. And good. Any other questions? Okay, if there are no questions, then we'll continue next week, our session.
Hari
Yeah.
Om, Shreyaji.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Ratna.
Yeah, this is just my understanding. For the question, one person asked why everybody can't have the same intellect.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this due to the gunas which are predominant in each one? Some will be predominant with tamas, some predominant in the rajas guna, and some sattva. The very goal of our life is to progress from tamas to rajas to sattva and then to go beyond shuddha
Yeah.
sattva, beyond sattva. Is that the reason? In addition to whatever sanchita karma one is carrying and with the vasanas.
Okay.
Is
See,
that correct?
yeah, that's correct. You are right. You see, there are two levels of answers to that question. The first level of answer, which is a direct answer to that question, is why there are so many different people with different minds and different intellects. The direct answer to the question is because of their vasanas.
Awesome.
That is a direct answer. What you are saying is one step ahead. You see, vasanas, they operate in the Maya atmosphere. Satwa, Rajas, and Tamas is common for all of us. When our vasanas, they change from Rajasic to Sattvic, then I find a difference in my experience.
Understand.
So, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is Maya. It is Maya Shakti, which is Prakriti. It is common for all of us. The whole creation is made up of the three Shaktis, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Individually, my mind experiences a sattvic guna in the morning, a rajasic guna in the afternoon, and a tamasic guna in the night. So I am also controlled by the three gunas. So three gunas, that is Ishvara Srishti. The Lord has created the three gunas, that is the environment in which all our vasanas, minds are coming and playing around. So the direct answer is each intellect has got a karana sharira. That is why in Tattvabodha we learn there is a karana sharira. The details of why that karana shariram is because of punya papa, according to the law of karma. So ultimately, if you really want to know, when you get up in the morning, the first thing you realize is all your memories of yesterday come back. That full package of impressions of yesterday come back. So all the impressions, if in one day they can come back, you can imagine what happens to. Suppose you believe you have had several births. So all the impressions which are gathered, which as an individual jiva which you have experienced, that is what is called as the package of sanchita karma. That is the last topic in our Tattvabodha discussions. We'll have more detail, but what you are saying is correct. Good. Thank you. So we'll stop here and then we'll continue next week. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Ajita.
Okay, thank you.